What's the name of this house again?
Seacrest.
The Seacrest house. Is this a reconstruction or is this a
No,
original and
it's original.
stuff? Original and
Well,
stuff?
of course, the shingles on the roof, the one part of the chimney's redone, this is redone, but everything else is original. Even the stuff inside was given by the family.
Okay,
Most of the items inside were given. We added a few.
Now, where was the house originally?
So it was upper portion of Mineral Springs area, so towards Monroe, still in Union County.
Okay.
Maybe about 10 minutes from here, I would say.
Now, the family that donated this, though, the
Seacrest family,
Seacrest
they were
family
friends
and
with the Andrew Jackson family.
Really? Okay.
So their family went back to the colonial times.
The idea
Tom's
is
been
that
doing
in spring, although Megan says it's going to happen before,
cool.
how long now?
What?
Well, how long before you think that thing is going to be up and running?
You're going to have it ready for the Spring Festival. March 23rd.
Hey, oh, goody. Yeah. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm supposed to repair the walls on that thing. I just put a new door in the top yesterday and got that secured. Got the hinges on it. I got you notice there's a sort of a gap between the front entrance and the other. I haven't been able to figure it out, but there's no floor there. So I got to take that shelf out, put that, maybe up the floor. How long? And
1 month and something days.
and I have a lot of help. Let's see, that arm and that arm. So it's been tough. And but anyway, when we get finished, what I'll be doing, and the reason I was saying to that gentleman there was that I'll be displaying the hand tools of the 18th century, but also the 19th century, showing the evolution of them. And it makes more sense for a guy in the clothing of the later part of the 19th century talking about the old tools as opposed to a guy dressed like that talking about all the new Stanleys, that don't fit. So, and well, anytime they do anything completely Rev War, we won't bring those out. I'll bring only the old stuff and get in that stuff myself. But, so again, and I was able to get one door open for the blacksmith. It's kind of nice looking. We do have a blacksmith that comes here, and he's a pro. He's in there when you come, and he's working on everything. But he's put a nail on the other two, so the only thing you get in is that one. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a better view of it. But feel free to do that. And just for laughs, you might look at what I'm trying to do in here, because you step in, and then you got about a 4-foot gap, and then you have to crouch to get up on the floor because somebody has put a shelf only 4 feet above you.
Not me.
I mean, it runs the entire length, and it obviously is part of something they modified when it came here, when the building. It's not original to the building at all.
They moved it in pieces. I mean, they had to take some pieces apart, but
Yeah.
it was moved to our site. It was off Sims Road.
But they
in
put that
Waxhaws.
bad boy up there, and now I got to figure out how to get it out without destroying the structure, and I'm going to use the boards from it to fill in the floor.
And we'll have 2 work days. Like if you look on those forms, on the volunteer forms, there's 2 days coming up. It's literally homestead work days, like where we want to help anyone that wants to come out. This extra set of hands would be wonderful. There's one in February and there's one in March. And then of course we'll have more. We're just trying to get it ready for the Spring Festival. So the Sims Barn is original, that was moved to our site. Smokehouse is original, that was moved to our site. And our goal is to get the smokehouse ready to be open and have displays too by the summer. So people can see
And
how
all
they
this, all the
preserve.
stuff, all the trash you can see that came out of there and behind the building, they're trying to get it hauled off. But as I was telling you, we're going to need a bigger truck.
Anyone with a truck, we need, I told you we need all kinds of volunteers. And then the blacksmith shop is a recreation. Like I said, we use an 1820s anvil inside, and it's historically accurate, would you say?
But on the Rev War events, again, he'll be in colonial costume also. We always try to get that. I think the ladies have more colonial costuming than they do the other period. So they'll eventually get some 1850s or something.
We'll add to it. Oh, and we have 2 wagons. One is a Civil War era wagon, so about 1850s is the time period. This one is a little bit later, like later 1800s. We had a Boy Scout that, what would you call it? Not remodeled. One of his, yes, refurbished. One of his projects in about 2010 refurbished our older wagon. That's why it's painted red.
Well, that one I trust. If we try to move that one again, that right front wheel is just going to fall off. It's just about ready to just bust.
It won't be me. But you're
Although
welcome
the
to go
big
look
boxes there, that's part of what we took out. They're actually like for shoes and books and stuff for elementary school thing you find in the classroom. But they're so well built that I've been using them for temporary workbench.
But feel free to explore.
Right now, the things that we found in there that were usable, real antiques, are inside there. That's become the storage shed, but there's no junk in it. It's all. You haven't looked at what we found.
No.
I'll open that up and let you take a look at it. Everybody else can browse all that. Yeah. I was thinking the possible money maker, we cleaned up some of these things.
Hey, Mason. Not a bad setup. This is the sea pierced house. The bed.
This is where it was the intersection of Potter Road and Newtown Road.
The old post office.
20 years ago, they cut down all the land around this post office, and you just saw this building. It didn't look like a post office. It was just this building out in the middle of nowhere. All the trees were cut down around it, and the whole community came together, raised about $100,000 back in around 2010, and this post office was moved here to this site. And they actually, it was a big deal. They had pictures of it, or newspaper articles of them rolling down the post office to this site, about 10 minutes away from here. You're more than welcome to go look inside of it. Of course, the roof is new, and it's, just be careful, but you're more than welcome to if you want to venture out. So that's why it was moved to our site, because we knew the historical significance, and the community came together and raised the funds to move the post office before it was demolished for a neighborhood. But you're more than welcome to look inside. It has some random things, but and then what these buildings are over here, this land used to be, if you're familiar with the area, Listen and Remember. It was a yearly summer play that was put on about the colonial time period of the Waxhaw region. And they owned all this land. They actually the ones that donated, the Listen and Remember Foundation actually donated the land to us for the museum back in 1988. But they would put on this performance every summer. And so we had the lights when they did put down the play. It hasn't been put on fully since about 2000. This was the concession stand. They had a couple other buildings, and they had like a big amphitheater, and people, I remember, do you remember coming out?
I remember.
Throughout, during the summer, you would come sit, and they would put on their performance every summer. And it was all about like around the Andrew Jackson time of being in the Waxhaws. But of course, it's not used anymore. No, normally we don't bring people this far. We tell them it's out here if they want to venture out, but we don't. Normally the tour is just the homestead.
Why did they move it so far out here then?
Because I think, well, that was before my time. I'm sure there was a reason for it. I think maybe because they wanted it away from the colonial section, and they were gonna put other things with this, is my thinking. It's like there was, I'm sure there was a reasoning when they moved it, but then I don't think anything was done. But we have, and actually we've been, we're going to, so if you know, what I told you Caitlin was working on revamping our whole exhibit area. If you looked where we had the Native American area, we had a schoolhouse section. That schoolhouse section was created back when we were like at the height of our field trips, like every single week. So we're gonna move that area, and we're actually gonna salvage some of the wood from the back and create a new post office exhibit indoors. So like we'll use some of the original wood and make an awning, and then like have all the information inside right where that schoolhouse is. So we can share the history without having people venture out this far. But we're gonna head back